Nevertheless, it happens. And as a therapist, we have to help people coping with this somehow. In my practice, I'm using, well, as far as I use drama, I use this active drama techniques. The psychoanalysis is at the core, the Jungian one, and that's living through the dreams while awake. This allows a person to talk and to express everything they feel, everything they've got inside, and to get some feedback in a very symbolic sense, so to say, a very symbolic answer. Meaning, let me explain deeper a little bit about this technique, but what I wanted to mention, what's really going on. A person is quite relaxed and they go down to the conflict zone where they can interact at the safe level, meaning they can vent out all their emotional conditions, feelings, or everything they were worried about, and they can get an answer. We are kind of relieving the person of this tension. This is quite a safe technique. Even if you don't work in this with these trauma techniques, you can still use it. According to protocol, there's this preliminary talk. And in a classical symbol dramatical session, we would work up to 30-40 minutes maximum. But if a person comes in the condition of anxiety, if they come to you, you know, really full of emotions, you can extend this session a little bit. So if some of your techniques are not performed clearly to certain framework, you can still pay a bit of attention to this normalization. At first, there is this preliminary talk. You kind of clarify what they feel, what they're worried about, what they want to express, in what way they want to express it. So you have to establish the rapport, the good contact with the person. This is something we are not discussing in socium, something which is too painful to discuss it with those around you, in majority of cases at least. And yeah, as soon as you build this rapport, especially if you work with that person repeatedly, then you have already established the rapport and the person can be trusting you. Yeah, we don't start this technique starting from session number 1 or 2, right? At first, we are building relations with the client. We start providing support, because if the person doesn't trust you, they won't open up, they won't be able to relax, they won't be able to descend to this level, to be themselves in this imagination, because it works only when the relationships are out there, when you have already some therapeutic history with this client. So speaking about this technique, at first this preliminary talk, then there are several options, like relaxation. For example, you can use any relaxation technique. Based on my experience, I'd like to tell you I'm using prosciutto technique, meaning when we gradually, starting with the shoulders, we tell the person, like at first we say, just sit in the most comfortable position. The person shall feel their feet, shall feel something holding their back. That's very important, because the person is descending to the level of conflict and they need to feel stable and protected. Meaning we watch the person not to be elevating their feet, or they can lie down. Then this contact is going to be there all along the body. We start relaxation with the shoulders, and with a very calm voice we say, feel the warmth. The warmth comes throughout your body. You can feel it in your arms, and you emphasize every joint. Say about elbows, about wrists, that your body is becoming heavy and warm. Control your breathing. The breathing shall be really relaxed, calm, rhythmical. Then we go along the front of the body, chest, stomach, legs, and then we come up through the back of the body, relaxing every muscle of the body so the person follows our voice. And at that moment, we establish the contact between the therapist and the client. The client is getting relaxed, and they enter this very condition when we may ask them to imagine some person and start talking to that image. As a person is relaxed, as their breathing is calm, as they're doing it all with their closed eyes, we provide them with certain instructions, what to imagine, what to have in mind. So at first we have a look whether they can imagine it. So at first we ask them, imagine some meadow. What kind of meadow? What's the weather there? What smells are there? It's a very important, actually, milestone when the person feels the contact. If they don't imagine anything, if they are not relaxed enough, if there's no trust, it's no good yet. The more things this person notices, if they're saying, I feel the smell, or I feel on my body some wind, or it's raining. So that's already a very good indication. It tells us that the person is ready to go forward and they feel trust towards you and that they are ready to have this interaction with you. They are ready to go further. So we shall not be forgetting about this first initial stage or this milestone. Then we see the person paid attention to themselves. They paid attention to the facts, what they're wearing, what are the shoes on them, how they feel, what's their age, because in this condition, a person may be of any age, their real age, maybe profound childhood, maybe somewhere in the future. So this is also a very important moment. And that's that point where you either have a conflict in this very age or vice versa. Well, depending on the weather, maybe the person felt very good, very comfortable, and they're kind of regressing and they're looking for that protection in that moment. So the attention is paid to age, to appearance of a person, and to the condition, to what they feel. So you have to ask, what would you like to do? How do you feel? What emotions you have inside now? So here we are referring just to the emotional realm. We are not asking, what do you think? What's your opinion? What's your attitude? Nothing like that. We are not bringing them to the level of cognition, just through the feelings and emotions we work. So when the person already entered this condition, they start telling you, they kind of feel comfortable in this all. And then we start proceeding. We give them further instructions what to imagine. And we are saying, imagine the golden staircase coming from the sky. Well, this staircase at our unconscious level would be connection with something. And the person is imagining the stairs. They might see the stairs next to themselves, or they may be far, far away. Nevertheless, we are offering a person to find themselves next to this very staircase. If a person is resistant and is saying, they're too far, I can't walk up there, there's this technique. You can say, it's in your imagination, you can do whatever. So give them the freedom of choice. Allow them to have the freedom of actions. They can, just jump there. They can fly up there. They can start walking towards there. They can imagine a car next to themselves. So a person shall feel they are under control of everything which is happening. Then the person is next to the staircase. So the next intervention would be that a specific person is coming down the stairs, either father or mother or husband, whoever died, whoever was lost, the person with whom the conflict is there, whom you want to share all your emotions, all your pain with, all your grudges with, and then the interaction happens. Pay attention in what way a person is describing that other person who's coming down the stairs, what's happening, what they want to do now. Age of that person, it also matters. The more details, the better. The more it highlights the contact, you allow a person to interact. You can say whatever you want to say. It's not necessary to mention it aloud in your presence. This person may mention it all in their imagination. And it's your task just to be out there, just to be a conduit, a conductor. You can ask them what's happening now. And sometimes make these pauses for the person to still have time to interact, because not everything can be mentioned aloud. This is about us not always saying everything to others, but we can still feel it. And there can be any interaction there. A person can feel maybe even some support from that other person, any kind of feedback. And whenever they meet, maybe there won't be any conflict. The person would say, I'm angry because I'm too sad, I miss you, but there won't be any conflict. It can be vice versa. But you have to allow a person to vent it all out, because if they don't do that, they won't have a person to address it all with. But here at symbolic level, we create this opportunity. So this is a technique like dreaming while awake. We provide the person an opportunity to implement it all and to express it all, to express something we can't express loudly. So a person is interacting. Pay attention to what the person is feeling. Just emphasize this attention while person is still in this image. What do you feel? What do you want to do? What else you want to do? So no limits. You can repeat. That's your imagination. Everything's possible here. There are no limitations. There are no borders. In this image of yours, you can do whatever. And it's very important that the person understands that what limits them would be just their imagination. But again, the feelings, the emotions, the person can disappear for a while, come back to you, talking to you. So you are kind of a controller. You are controlling it from the side, and there shall still be some interaction. You know that there is a conflict, there is something a person can't say to you, but they want to say to the person they are holding a grudge against, they are bitter at. So you can help them. You can ask, what do you need right now? You can offer something else.